Welcome to another week of A Friendly Nudge. So this week we're going to make a sausage, grape, and polenta bake. And I've made a version of this before, but it was just sausage, grapes, and onions, and it didn't have the polenta. And I saw this recipe and I was like, okay, I think this is a way to kind of move this thing up a notch. So the sausages I'm using are these chicken andouille sausages from Amy Lou. I get them at Costco. And then that's 2 cups of grapes. I'm going to use a half of that red onion. I'm using goat cheese because I always have that around. I think the recipe called for gorgonzola, but didn't have that. And then I'm using Bob's Red Mill polenta. I use a cup of that and 3 cups of water. Just follow the directions on whatever polenta that you're using. Instead of using the pre-cooked polenta, which the recipe called for, I couldn't find that. It's like, well, I've got the polenta here. Let's just do it that way. I'm going to cut the onion really thin, put it in a bowl. I'm going to add the grapes to it, and then just going to add a little bit of olive oil and a pinch of salt. And just, get that, kind of mixed in. And then I'm just cooking the polenta per the instructions on the bag. I forgot. It's just bring the water to a boil, add it. I don't remember what the time was, but that'll be on the package. Just going to add a pinch of salt to it. And then, we're going to let that cook. It'll thicken up. And then, once it's done, it will kind of incorporate all the water. Then I'm just going to spray a sheet tray and then with avocado oil, and then I'm going to just spread the polenta out in a kind of a thin layer. You could use a smaller sheet tray. I just want to make sure that I had everything kind of spread out so that it would cook. You're just going to add the grapes and the onions. And the recipe called for fresh thyme. This is another one of those deals. I didn't have fresh thyme at home, and I was like, I'm not going to make a grocery store run for that because this stuff turned out great like it was. So if you want to add fresh thyme, by all means. And then I'm just going to add the sausage, and then the recipe said to poke it with a knife. I'm not sure what purpose this serves, but this is one of those rare times where I actually follow directions. And we're going to put it into a 425 degree oven and leave it in there for about 20 to 30 minutes. This sausage is already cooked, so really we're just kind of letting it warm up. If you were using like Italian sausage, you might want to go to the full 30 minutes. And then we're going to put the broiler on. I've got one of the oven shelves or oven racks right up by the broiler. And then we're just adding the cheese. Like I said, I'm using goat cheese. You could also use gorgonzola. And then, 3 minutes, and this is going to be done. And, what I like about this is that it's tasty and it's easy. So, this is absolutely delicious. And by all means, play with your food.